How Pakistan occupied Kashmir, the truth history forgot. An interesting topic, isn't it? This presentation is an outcome of bipartisan and unbiased research of Dr. V.V. L. N. Shastri, jurist, international arbitrator, financial economist and Fulbright scholar. I am Ms. Sazia, AI assistant of Dr. Shastri, narrating his inputs to you all. Let us get into the subject on how Pakistan occupied a portion of Kashmir in 1947, POK. Actually, Kashmir was not a part of Pakistan. The entire princely state of Jammu and Kashmir was under Maharaja Hari Singh at the time of independence in 1947. On 22nd October 1947, Pakistan sent tribal raiders and irregular forces to forcibly seize Kashmir. The Maharaja signed the instrument of accession of merging entire Jammu and Kashmir into India on 26th October 1947. Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan came under Pakistani control during 1947-48 conflict, before Nehru ever had a chance to cede anything after the accession of merging. Then, what happened with AJK, POK, also called as Azad Kashmir, including Gilgit-Baltistan? Ceasefire of 1949 and the UN factor. India took the issue to the United Nations in January 1948. The unmediated ceasefire in January 1949 created the Line of Control, LOC, a temporary arrangement, not a permanent border. Nehru agreed to the ceasefire, believing in international mediation and future resolution through plebiscite, which Pakistan later sabotaged by not withdrawing forces from AJK and GB as required and integrating Gilgit-Baltistan administratively. Why didn't India reclaim these areas in 1965? During the 1965 war, Indian forces did inflict serious damage and even occupied Pakistani territory in Punjab. However, the war ended with the Tashkent Agreement, January 1966, mediated by the Soviet Union, USSR. Strategic restraint and international pressure, especially from the US and USSR, pushed both sides to return to status quo ante. India's decisions were shaped by the Cold War, the UN ceasefire, and a belief in diplomacy. What really happened in 1947? Maharaja Hari Singh wanted independence. He did not want to join either India or Pakistan initially. Tried to maintain Jammu and Kashmir as an independent princely state. Signed standstill agreements with both dominions. Pakistan accepted, India did not. Pakistan took advantage of the delay. On 22nd October 1947, tribal raiders and irregulars supported by Pakistan invaded Kashmir. They plundered Muzaffarabad, Baramulla, and reached the outskirts of Srinagar. Only then did Maharaja seek help. The Maharaja fled to Jammu. He sent a message to India for military help. India demanded formal accession in return for intervention. Instrument of accession signed. On 26 October 1947, Maharaja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession to India. On 27 October, Indian troops were airlifted to Srinagar and the Indian army began pushing back the invaders. Yes, Maharaja Hari Singh's delay in joining India was a strategic blunder. It gave Pakistan the opportunity to invade, and even after accession, India could not recover those areas before the UN ceasefire due to non-cooperation from USA and USSR, and then it takes us into the Cold War geopolitics of the 1960s where global superpower interests often trumped regional justice. Let's analyze why both the USA and USSR, Russia, despite being rivals, ended up converging in 1965 to preserve the status quo, indirectly helping Pakistan retain occupied parts of Kashmir. US's tilt toward Pakistan, 1950s 1965. Why the US leaned toward Pakistan? Cold War alliances. Pakistan was part of SEATO, Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, and CENTO, Central Treaty Organization, both US-led anti-communist military pacts. India, under Nehru, was non-aligned and occasionally friendly with the USSR, which annoyed Washington. Military aid to Pakistan. From the 1950s as the US heavily armed Pakistan under the pretext of containing the USSR. By 1965, Pakistan's military was largely equipped with US weapons. And Washington had deep strategic interest in keeping Pakistan stable and on its side. Avoiding escalation, the US wanted to prevent a larger Indo-Pak war that could upset the regional balance and provoke Soviet involvement. So, they pushed both sides to return to status quo ante, indirectly freezing Pakistan's gains. USSR's position in 1965, initially neutral, later leaning towards mediation. That in a way led to the USSR not helping India in reclaiming territory. At that time, India was still non-aligned. India wasn't a military ally of the Soviet Union in 1965. The Indo-Soviet Treaty of Peace and Friendship came later in 1971. So, the USSR didn't fully back India in 1965, unlike in 1971. Global peace posture. The USSR wanted to present itself as a responsible superpower by brokering peace, not fueling conflict. This culminated in the Tashkent Agreement, January 1966, where Lal Bahadur Shastri and Ayub Khan agreed to withdraw to pre-war positions. No territory was exchanged. At that time during Cold War, Kashmir was a potential flashpoint. The Soviets didn't want Kashmir to become a trigger for broader war, possibly involving China. So, they accepted the UN line of control as a de facto reality, again temporarily freezing Pakistan's gains. Strategic summary: why they wanted stability over justice. The USA and USSR didn't support Pakistan explicitly, but they prioritized geopolitical stability over territorial justice. Their pressure for ceasefire and mediation in 1965 helped Pakistan retain what it had occupied since 1947 to 48. It wasn't a moral decision, it was a Cold War calculation. Thanks for your patient hearing. Please like, subscribe and recommend this channel to your friends.